Welcome the Lord's chosen. Some bloodlines don't fade. They stand guard. There are protections that announce themselves with noise, rituals, and drama. And then there are the kind that work in silence, paperwork, timing, and outcomes. The kind you only notice when you look back and realize how many moments should have ended you, delayed you, or trapped you, and somehow didn't. This isn't about being mystical, chosen, or special in the performative sense. This is about lineage, structure, consequence. The unglamorous kind of power that survives wars, poverty, exile, broken systems, and bad decisions. Here's a fact most people don't like talking about. Trauma, survival instincts, and protective patterns can be passed down through generations, not symbolically, biologically, and behaviorally. Studies on epigenetics show that extreme stress experienced by one generation can alter how the next responds to danger. Translation: someone before you learned how to survive the hard way, and your nervous system is still running that software. That's not poetry, that's inheritance. And this is where it gets interesting, because in some families there was a man who didn't fold. He didn't disappear. He didn't play about his people. He made choices that weren't celebrated, didn't get statues, and probably didn't even get thanked. But those choices created a buffer, a layer of protection that shows up today as narrow escapes, uncanny timing, blocked doors, and the strange ability to walk away from things that would have ruined others. You might call it luck. Your enemies might call it unfair. Your ancestors call it return on investment. What makes this kind of protection different is that it doesn't coddle. It corrects, it redirects. It removes you from situations without asking your opinion. One minute you're upset about a door closing, the next you're realizing the building was on fire. That's not spiritual punishment. That's somebody upstairs still doing quality control. And yes, it has a sense of humor, because nothing humbles the ego faster than thinking you're in control, only to be rerouted like a confused delivery driver with bad directions. You plan. Life laughs. Ancestral protection quietly checks the map and says, absolutely not. This isn't a feel-good story. It's a lineage report, a reminder that your life didn't start at birth, and it's not moving randomly. There is a male ancestor in your bloodline who does not play about you, and the proof isn't in signs or dreams. It's in the fact that you're still standing, still moving, and still being steered, whether you agree with the route or not. Number 1, someone before you broke a bloodline pattern so you wouldn't have to. Long before you showed up, a man in your bloodline reached a moment where things could have gone one of two ways. One path was easier, quieter, and socially acceptable. The other was costly, lonely, and disruptive. He chose the second, not because he wanted to be brave, but because letting things continue would have destroyed everyone after him. That choice didn't look heroic at the time. It probably looked stubborn, reckless, or unnecessary. But it broke a cycle that had been running unchecked for generations. Bloodline patterns don't end on their own. They repeat until someone absorbs the cost of stopping them. Addiction, silence, poverty thinking, misplaced loyalty, fear of authority, self-betrayal. These things don't magically disappear. Someone has to stand in the fire long enough to end the loop. That ancestor did exactly that. And the price he paid didn't vanish. It just stopped being collected from everyone else. That's why your life feels different from the people around you, even when your circumstances look similar. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from a cleared path. The danger you avoid isn't dramatic. It's structural. You don't fall into traps that swallow others whole. You sense dead ends early. You walk away from situations that would have quietly ruined you 5 years later. That's not personality, that's inheritance. This is also why ease sometimes comes with guilt. a strange feeling that you didn't earn certain protections. That's because you didn't. Someone else did the heavy lifting. He paid up front so the interest wouldn't compound on you. You're living on credit that was already settled. People misunderstand this kind of protection because it doesn't look flashy. It shows up as timing, redirection, and resistance to repeating family mistakes. It looks like being spared from patterns you were statistically supposed to fall into. That's not favoritism. That's a closed account. You are not stronger because you suffered more. You're steadier because someone before you refused to pass the damage down. His sacrifice didn't make him famous. It made you possible. Number 2, you trigger resistance because you carry unfinished authority. Some people don't need to say much to be felt. You walk into rooms and something shifts, not because you're trying to dominate, but because there's an authority about you that hasn't been formally introduced yet. It's unfinished, unresolved, and that's what unsettles people. Authority that knows its place is comfortable. Authority that hasn't fully claimed itself makes others uneasy. This kind of resistance shows up in strange ways. People challenge you over small things. They test your boundaries without reason. They feel the need to put you in your place, even when you weren't out of line. That reaction isn't about your behavior. It's about what you represent. You carry a sense of leadership that wasn't completed in a previous generation, and your presence reminds people that hierarchy is still in motion. Unfinished authority doesn't shout. It waits, it studies, it observes before acting. That's why people misread you as passive or underestimated until they feel exposed by their own behavior around you. Your calm doesn't relax them. It unsettles them. They sense that you're not easily influenced and that threatens systems built on compliance. This authority didn't come from self-help books or confidence drills. It's embedded. Someone before you held power, responsibility, or influence but was blocked, cut short, or forced to compromise. The position wasn't fully claimed, and that energy didn't disappear. It transferred. Now it lives in you as a quiet pressure to step forward when it matters and pull back when it doesn't. That's why you attract friction even when you're doing nothing wrong. People feel the gap between who you are and the role you haven't stepped into yet. Some will try to provoke you into proving yourself. Others will attempt to dominate you early, sensing that if they don't, they'll lose footing later. Both reactions come from the same place, recognition without context. Over time, this resistance becomes a filter. The insecure move away. The controlling expose themselves. The grounded either respect you or wait patiently. Unfinished authority doesn't rush to be crowned. It completes itself through clarity, not force. And when it finally settles, the resistance disappears. Not because people changed, but because the hierarchy did. Number 3, your life keeps redirecting because you're being steered, not tested. Life has a strange way of making you feel like everything is random. Doors close suddenly, opportunities vanish, plans you poured into collapse overnight. Most people would call it bad luck, or punishment, or just the chaos of existence. But for you, these redirections aren't accidents. They are deliberate. Someone is steering you, not to make life harder, not to break you, but to make sure you don't build on the wrong foundation. This kind of protection doesn't announce itself. It doesn't wave a flag or whisper warnings in dreams. It shows up as timing, coincidences, and barriers that seem frustrating in the moment. A project fails. A person leaves. A path disappears. And later, looking back, you see that if you had stayed, you would have been stuck, misled, or worse. The steering is precise, subtle, and unrelenting because it's meant to prevent outcomes that could derail your purpose. It's why you feel restless in certain situations without understanding why. Why you can't seem to settle in some jobs, relationships, or social circles, even when everything appears perfect on paper. That restlessness is inherited guidance. Someone before you endured hardships, learned what worked and what destroyed, and left a blueprint in your instincts to navigate life with more clarity than most. This protection isn't about comfort or ease. It's about survival and alignment. You don't notice the danger until later, and by then, it's clear that someone prevented you from falling into traps you couldn't have recognized. That's why your path often feels like a zigzag, frustrating in real time, but purposeful in hindsight. You're not failing, and you're not being punished. You're being redirected, nudged, and shielded without a voice, without ceremony. The doors that close, the detours, the sudden stops, they are all part of a design you can't fully see yet. And that's the genius of it. Someone long before you made sure you wouldn't walk blindly into the patterns that once trapped them. You're being moved forward, safely, in ways only visible when you finally look back and understand the strategy that has been quietly guarding you all along. Number 4, you survive situations that should have permanently changed you. Life doesn't hand out survival lessons evenly. Most people stumble, fall, and leave pieces of themselves behind in moments that are too intense, too fast, or too unfair. You, however, keep walking. You emerge from situations that would have crushed others without even the memory of it fading. This isn't luck and it isn't coincidence. It's protection that runs deep, woven into your very being by someone who refused for the bloodline to break. The moments that try to define you or trap you, betrayals, failures, betrayals, or sheer chaos, come, and yet you survive. You may feel exhausted, bruised, or drained, but you don't disappear. That's because someone before you endured even more, carried the costs you never saw, and in doing so, laid the groundwork for you to endure without being permanently broken. Your resilience isn't inherited as a vague idea. It's structural. Your body, mind, and instincts respond in ways that quietly steer you away from disaster, even when every outward sign says you should have been taken down. What makes this protection extraordinary is how invisible it is. It doesn't announce itself in glory or spectacle. There are no medals for narrowly escaping ruin or dodging traps that could have ended you. It simply works. You don't get to see the hands moving the pieces. You only feel the outcome. That's why you survive what others call impossibilities, relationships that implode, financial crises that would sink a lifetime, betrayals that shatter trust, and still manage to carry forward with your sense of self intact. This survival is not just physical or emotional, it's ancestral. Every time you step back from disaster, there's an echo of someone who once walked through fire, knew exactly which steps were fatal, and ensured you would never repeat their losses. Your ability to walk away, to recover, to keep moving, is a living testament to a male ancestor who refused to let tragedy define the bloodline. You are here, whole and capable because someone before you made sure survival wasn't optional. It was written into your very DNA. Number 5, men in authority either support you unexpectedly or oppose you irrationally. There's a strange dynamic in your life with men in positions of power. Some step forward, offering help, guidance, or unexpected opportunities without explanation. Others seem to oppose you for no reason, challenge you unnecessarily, or test you in ways that make no sense on the surface. This isn't coincidence. It's the reflection of ancestral influence, a male energy in your lineage that commands recognition, whether people consciously understand it or not. You've probably noticed that authority figures don't treat you like everyone else. Some seem almost compelled to back you, even when it doesn't benefit them. Promotions, support, protection, or chances arrive without a clear reason, as if unseen hands nudged the situation into alignment. On the flip side, you also encounter irrational opposition, People who should have nothing against you suddenly feel threatened. They challenge, dismiss, or undermine, not because of logic, but because somewhere deep they sense an authority they can't control, inherited authority that hasn't fully revealed itself yet. This push and pull with authority isn't random friction. It's testing, calibration, and acknowledgement. The support is strategic, giving you breathing room, the right allies, or timely advantage. The opposition is equally strategic, revealing weaknesses, exposing hidden agendas, or forcing you to recognize boundaries that matter. You're constantly moving through a live filter, where people in power act like sensors, responding to energy embedded in you by someone who refused to be ignored in their time. It's also why you may feel exhausted by bureaucracy, business hierarchies, or social hierarchies. It's draining because you're constantly being measured against a standard most people don't see, a standard written long before you were born. This is a kind of protection wrapped in friction. It ensures that only those who are ready, who understand the weight of authority, inherited, earned, or recognized, get to navigate with confidence. You are not just reacting to power dynamics. You are the result of one ancestor's uncompromising stance. That energy commands acknowledgement. It's why authority either lifts you up when it recognizes you or pushes back when it fears you might surpass what it can control. Either way, your bloodline is speaking through you, and the world cannot ignore it. Number 6, you're instinctively allergic to paths that would trap you. You probably noticed that certain opportunities, relationships, or situations feel off almost immediately. People call it intuition, gut feeling, or even paranoia. But for you, it's something deeper, a built-in mechanism inherited from a male ancestor who refused to let the family fall into repeated patterns. You're not avoiding these paths because of fear or indecision. You're avoiding them because your bloodline has already calculated the cost, the fallout, and the dead ends. And your instincts are tuned to steer you clear. This kind of awareness isn't conscious. It shows up as discomfort, restlessness, or subtle resistance. You may find yourself talking yourself out of things that look perfect on the surface, leaving relationships that seem ideal, or quitting opportunities that everyone else would jump at. Most people see these actions as self-sabotage. You see them as survival. You don't realize it, but the energy in you knows where mistakes and dangers lie, even before your conscious mind can name them. That is why your life often appears unconventional. You rarely follow the expected path, and you can't sit still in systems that feel rigid or dishonest. That isn't rebellion. That's inherited intelligence. Someone before you absorbed consequences that you don't have to. He endured betrayal, failure, misjudgment, and loss, and in doing so, left behind a blueprint of avoidance that runs through your instincts. Your discomfort isn't random. It's a protective alarm wired into your decisions. The beauty of this is how it shapes your future silently. You never need to retrace the same mistakes. You step away from traps most people fall into, dodge hidden pitfalls, and navigate chaos without consciously realizing why. That's why your life may feel like a series of narrow escapes or lucky coincidences. It isn't luck. It's ancestral engineering. You are, without realizing it, walking a path cleared by someone who refused to let the family repeat the same suffering. Your instincts aren't just feelings, they are inheritance. And as long as you trust them, you will continue moving through life without being caught in patterns that once held your ancestors hostage. Number 7, you carry guilt that doesn't belong to your lifetime. Sometimes you feel responsible for things that you had no part in creating. Situations, mistakes, or family struggles weigh on you as if you should have fixed them, prevented them, or somehow earned the right to move past them. That weight isn't yours. It comes from someone before you, a male ancestor who carried burdens, made sacrifices, and faced consequences that stretched beyond his own life. The imprint of his responsibility is in your blood, and sometimes it feels like guilt. This isn't abstract or symbolic. You know it in moments when you feel accountable for things you didn't cause, when mistakes around you sting more than they should, or when you replay scenarios that had no impact on your actual life. That's ancestral residue. Someone carried responsibility on a scale you will never fully see, and in doing so, made it possible for you to experience life with fewer direct consequences. Your nervous system and instinctive reactions are tuned to that weight, reminding you of decisions, outcomes, and the stakes that once defined the family. That's why you often overcorrect, hesitate, or feel the need to make things right for people or situations that don't actually need fixing. That compulsion isn't weakness. It's a reflection of inherited vigilance, a survival mechanism built from generations of sacrifice. Someone ensured that accountability, awareness, and caution would transfer down, so that you wouldn't make the same errors or suffer the same fallout. Carrying this guilt also explains why your empathy runs deep and why your judgment of certain behaviors is almost automatic. You sense consequences before they happen because someone already endured them. You are living with a pre-calculated understanding of cause and effect that most people have to learn the hard way. The key is recognizing the difference between responsibility that belongs to you and guilt that was passed down. Your life is lighter because someone before you bore the weight. You can act, choose, and move without being chained to mistakes that aren't yours. That inherited sense of accountability is a gift, one that teaches you how to navigate life with awareness and wisdom, while sparing you the full cost that once fell on someone who refused to let the family line falter. Number 8. You intimidate people who rely on control rather than substance. There's a certain kind of person who immediately feels off around you. Not because you're loud or aggressive, but because your presence exposes them. People who rely on manipulation, deception, or hollow authority sense quickly that you don't respond to games, posturing, or empty hierarchies. That energy, the one that unsettles them, didn't start with you. It's inherited. A male ancestor long before you developed a presence that couldn't be bullied, swayed, or controlled, and some of that presence is in your blood. You may have noticed it in meetings, social circles, or even casual interactions. Some people try to dominate, argue, or belittle you without cause. They feel the need to assert control because instinct tells them they're up against something they can't measure or manipulate. They aren't aware of why they react this way. They only feel the subtle pressure of a presence that refuses to bend to false authority. And when they fail, they either back off quickly or double down irrationally, which only makes it more obvious that they were never equipped to deal with what you carry. This ability to unsettle isn't learned, it's embedded. It's the echo of a man who faced others like him, who understood power, influence, and respect at a level that couldn't be faked. You inherit that quiet calibration, that sense of knowing who's authentic and who's pretending. It's why manipulative people instinctively test you, but rarely succeed. Your energy doesn't give them the leverage they're used to. What's remarkable is how subtle it is. You don't need to prove dominance. You don't need to assert superiority. You exist, and the reaction comes automatically. People reveal themselves without realizing it, showing their weaknesses, their insecurities, and their fear. And in that, you're protected. Those who would drain, manipulate, or derail you are filtered before they can cause lasting damage. You're walking with inherited authority. Your presence, unspoken yet undeniable, commands respect. It forces the world to align with reality rather than illusion. And anyone who relies on control rather than substance will feel the pressure immediately. That's the gift, and the safeguard passed down through your lineage. Number 9. You're protected most when you're alone. There's a strange paradox in your life. The moments when you feel most isolated are often the moments when you are safest. Solitude isn't abandonment, it's shielding. Every time you step away from crowds, detach from toxic relationships, or face silence that feels heavy, something unseen is moving around you, quietly ensuring that the dangers you can't see yet never reach you. This protection doesn't make noise. It doesn't announce itself. It operates in the gaps, in the space where others think you are vulnerable, but you are anything but. Your life has likely shown you countless examples, times when you were left out, excluded, or separated, and later realized that the people or situations you were avoiding would have caused major setbacks, betrayal, or harm. You feel the weight of being alone, but that isolation is strategic. It's a buffer created over generations by a male ancestor who knew that survival often requires distance, detachment, and the patience to let chaos run its course while you remain untouched. This kind of protection doesn't interfere directly. It doesn't swoop in with obvious signs. Instead, it manifests as timing, coincidence, and the avoidance of traps you never even knew existed. A relationship fails before it ruins you. An opportunity collapses before it drains you. A plan falls apart before it costs you irreparably. And the only thing that seems clear in the moment is that you're standing alone, seemingly without support. Over time, you begin to notice the pattern. The solitude that once felt punishing now feels like a sanctuary. You learn to trust your instincts, your inner compass, and the unseen forces guiding your steps. This protection is not about comfort or recognition. It's about alignment, survival, and preserving the lineage. You are never truly alone. Even in silence, even in distance, you are shielded by something older than you. Someone before you refused to let the bloodline be harmed unnecessarily, and their choices echo through your life. Solitude is not emptiness, it's strategy, it's safety, and it's proof that your protection runs deeper than anyone can see. Number 10, you feel watched, not in fear, but in awareness. There's a presence in your life that doesn't announce itself, doesn't knock, and doesn't make demands. Yet you feel it. A quiet awareness that someone is observing, guiding, and adjusting circumstances around you without ever being seen. It's not paranoia. It's not imagination. It's a deep, inherited perception, a sense passed down from a male ancestor who refused to let his lineage falter. That energy is still active, still protective, and still steering the course of your life in ways most people can't comprehend. This feeling shows up in subtle ways. You sense when a situation is about to go wrong before it does. You notice small shifts in behavior, timing, or energy that others miss. You instinctively avoid encounters that later prove dangerous, or make choices that seem minor at the time, but save you from long-term consequences. That quiet awareness is a reflection of someone who once carried the weight of protecting a family, making decisions under pressure, and ensuring survival when failure meant permanent loss. It's why certain moments in life feel like they are choreographed just for you. Doors open or close without explanation. People appear at exactly the right time or disappear when they would have caused harm. Events unfold in ways that seem too precise to be random. That precision is not luck. It's guidance that flows from bloodline strategy, hard-earned through trials, mistakes, and sacrifices made generations before your birth. This presence also gives you an edge that most people will never understand. You move with awareness rather than fear. You notice opportunities others overlook and avoid traps they walk straight into. Your instincts aren't guesses, they're inherited calibration. Feeling watched is not a burden, it's a shield. It's a silent guarantee that someone refuses to let your life be wasted or derailed unnecessarily. You are being protected and guided in ways that are invisible but undeniable. And every instinct, every hunch, every sense of timing is part of a legacy that refuses to let the family line be lost. That awareness is your inheritance, and it is as real as the blood running through your veins. Number 11. Your anger, when it surfaces, is precise, not chaotic. You're not someone who flies off the handle at every little irritation. Your anger isn't loud, messy, or reckless. When it rises, it lands exactly where it needs to, with surgical precision, and leaves an impact that people remember. That's not learned behavior, that's inherited. A male ancestor long before you understood that wasted emotion costs more than it gives. He survived by controlling it, directing it, and using it strategically. And some of that discipline is in your blood. This precision makes your anger both respected and feared. People can sense it, even if they don't understand it. When others lash out blindly, you appear calm, calculating, almost untouchable. And then your response hits where it matters most. That instinctive targeting isn't about revenge or ego. It's about protection, correction, and establishing boundaries that must not be crossed. Those who attempt to challenge you quickly learn that you don't react randomly. You react intentionally. Your anger also carries a hidden warning. It signals that your patience has limits, that your energy is not to be wasted, and that boundaries aren't suggestions. Those who are careless, manipulative, or disrespectful feel it early. The subtle, unmistakable energy that says you won't tolerate what could harm you or the lineage you represent. That energy isn't manufactured. It's inherited from someone who knew that unchecked emotion leads to failure, loss, or destruction. What makes this rare is how few people ever witness it. Your anger isn't habitual or performative. It's a tool used only when necessary, and the impact is multiplied by its rarity and precision. It doesn't just enforce rules, it recalibrates the environment around you. People remember not only what was said or done, but the weight behind it. You are living with the benefit of ancestral discipline in every response, every confrontation, every boundary you assert. Your anger is not chaos, it's control, it's strategy. It's a weapon forged silently generations before you, handed down in a way that protects, corrects, and ensures that the bloodline doesn't repeat mistakes that could have cost everything. Number 12, you're drawn to truth even when it costs you comfort. Most people avoid truth because it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or exposes their weaknesses. Not you. Something in you doesn't allow lies, illusions, or half-truths to settle around your life. You confront what is real, even when it shakes your world, upends relationships, or challenges long-held beliefs. That hunger for truth isn't just personality or stubbornness, it's inherited. A male ancestor in your lineage understood that survival, legacy, and progress depended on seeing clearly, even when it burned, and some of that uncompromising clarity runs through your blood. This attraction to truth shows up in unexpected ways. You see through pretense quickly. You notice when someone is pretending to care, when systems are failing, or when situations are built on shaky foundations. That awareness is not learned, it's instinctive. You are wired to detect the cracks that most people overlook, and ignoring them is never an option. Comfort, ease, or social convenience often comes second to clarity in your life because the cost of illusion is too high. Your bloodline has already paid for mistakes born of ignoring reality. Because of this, your path isn't easy. Seeking truth comes with resistance. People dislike it when you expose inconsistencies or refuse to accept comforting lies. Opportunities that seem perfect on the surface often feel hollow to you, and you instinctively turn away, even when it means short-term discomfort. That discomfort is part of the system, a filter designed by generations before you who understood that shortcuts, compromises, and self-deception could ruin the lineage. You carry inherited discernment. Your mind refuses to settle for appearances. Your instincts detect falsehoods early, and your decisions reflect a commitment to reality that most people would shy away from. It's why your life often feels like a series of revelations, sudden clarity, unmasking and correction, and why you move through the world differently. The cost of truth doesn't scare you because surviving, thriving, and protecting what matters has already been taught through your blood. You are built to navigate life with uncompromising awareness, carrying forward a legacy that refuses to settle for anything less than what is real. Number 13. Your life refuses to stay small, no matter how hard you try. There's something in you that refuses to be contained. No matter how many obstacles appear, no matter how many times the world seems to push back, your life keeps expanding in ways that defy expectations. That drive, that inevitability, isn't simply ambition or stubbornness, it's inheritance. A male ancestor in your bloodline refused to accept limitation, refused to settle, and refused to allow the lineage to shrink. That energy, that refusal to stay small, flows in you, guiding your steps and pushing you forward even when you feel exhausted, uncertain, or tempted to stop. You've probably noticed the pattern. Every time you try to play it safe, avoid risk, or shrink yourself to fit in, life has a way of pulling you back into the bigger arena. Opportunities arrive that are too large to ignore. Responsibilities appear that demand more than you expected. And your instincts push you to step into spaces that make others uncomfortable. That's not coincidence. That's generational momentum. Someone before you insisted that the family line would not be diminished, and that insistence has become a force in your own existence. This energy doesn't work quietly, but it also doesn't scream. It shows up in subtle ways, in your resilience, your timing, your instincts, and your capacity to handle what would overwhelm others. It ensures that no matter how hard circumstances try to confine you, you continue to grow, stretch, and evolve. The walls others build around you, the limitations imposed by society, or even your own fears, cannot stop it. Your life refuses to stay small because someone before you refused to let it be small. That refusal is now a part of you, and it's why you find yourself constantly stepping into bigger challenges, reaching higher than you thought possible, and leaving an impact in ways others might never notice but will always feel. You are the continuation of a legacy that demands expansion, influence, and endurance. Smallness is not an option, never has been, never will be. Number 14. You are not the origin. You are the continuation. Everything about you carries weight because you are not starting from scratch. You are the product of battles fought, losses endured, and sacrifices made long before you existed. A male ancestor in your bloodline refused to let the lineage collapse, and in doing so created a foundation for you to walk on. A foundation built with sweat, risk, pain, and vision. You are not the one who endured the earliest storms, but you are the one who benefits from the shelter those storms created. That reality shapes every choice, every instinct, and every step you take. Being the continuation means your life isn't random. Every opportunity, every setback, every uncanny escape from disaster is part of a larger design you may not see. You inherit timing, judgment, resilience, and protection that weren't developed overnight. They were earned, brutally, meticulously, and often invisibly. That energy flows in you now, guiding you through situations that would have destroyed others. You carry the cumulative intelligence and survival skills of someone who refused to let the family line falter. It also means responsibility. Continuation is not passive. You're here to honor, complete, and expand what was started long before you were born. Patterns broken, traps avoided, and paths cleared for you are tools to move forward, not reasons to stagnate. You are the living proof of someone's refusal to let the bloodline fail, and that comes with a subtle but undeniable pressure to act, to grow, and to ensure the work that began before you continues with clarity and purpose. You are inheritance in motion. You carry the echoes of past wisdom and the weight of past struggles. The protection, instincts, and awareness embedded in you are not luck. They are proof of survival and foresight passed down through generations. You are a bridge, a link, a continuation of someone who refused to let the lineage end. And because of that, your life is both privileged and charged. You are here to take what was preserved and push it further, ensuring that the legacy does not just survive, but thrives. You are not the origin. You are the continuation, and everything in your life reflects that truth. The protection, guidance, and strength you carry are not random. Every instinct, every narrow escape, every sudden opportunity or detour is a reflection of a lineage that refused to allow its legacy to be lost. You are not here by accident. You are the product of calculated survival, of battles fought and sacrifices made long before your existence. Every step you take, every boundary you set, and every challenge you overcome is part of a blueprint written into your blood, a map laid out by someone who refused to let the lineage falter. Your life carries the echoes of resilience, clarity, and authority, and it demands that you move forward consciously. You are guided by invisible hands that have steered generations, and this guidance manifests not through luck, but through precise alignment, timing, and instincts you may have always trusted without understanding why. The power, protection, and awareness you experience are gifts passed down through someone who endured, fought, and ensured the future would be stronger, wiser, and freer than the past. Recognize that your path is extraordinary, not because you are flawless or untouchable, but because you stand on the shoulders of giants who refuse to let life pass without structure, strategy, and care. You are their continuation, the living proof that sacrifices made in silence can echo through generations, reshaping what is possible, steering you away from patterns that once destroyed, and positioning you to thrive where others falter. This is your inheritance, your responsibility, and your undeniable advantage. You are not here to simply exist. You are here to continue, expand, and elevate the lineage that refuses to fade. Honor it, trust it, and move with awareness, because every moment you live fully, wisely, and courageously is a tribute to the protection and foresight embedded in your blood. If this resonated with you, don't just leave it here. Like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe to the channel to join a space where we uncover truths, power, and guidance hidden in plain sight. Stay blessed always.